it sits in solitude, it resides in solitude, and I thoroughly cancel on me. I'm the friend that you can do it. So I recently saw this thread where the stunning actress Dominique Fishback was sharing that she has a goal of sharing more of herself across her platforms. And this has been a long time goal for myself, I would say. And so this resonated with me. And she also shared a portion or a placement in her natal chart, giving some insight on her decision as to why she's pursuing this goal this year. And I thought that this would be a really fun way for me, being an astrological girly myself, to share the information that I have on the subject, while also sharing pieces and bits of who I am, and also highlighting things that are just being highlighted in my life right now. Placements, transits are happening all the time, and so I think it'll be a very fun way to again have that conversation on my platform. So definitely go to my comments if you have any questions or curiosities about what I share here, want to know more, and or resonate deeply yourself because you have the same placements. I am thinking this could be a really fun series. I'm excited to see kind of where it goes, and yeah, let's dive in. So I want to start off with the sun and the moon because I think that those are planets that people kind of already loosely have an understanding of, but we'll go into depth about each one of those planets later on. I do have a sun in the sign of Gemini in the 7th house of relaxation, relationships, a good time, a good wind down. So oftentimes when people meet me, I give off this energy of being very socially engaged, happily extroverted. I am curious about everything and everyone. Social experiments are my jam. But I do have a moon in the sign of Scorpio in the 12th house, so intensity is also my jam as well. It is my playing ground, actually. And so isolation, solitude. The 12th house represents your blind spot. And oftentimes people recognize this energy expressed from you before you do. Hidden enemies also come from this place. It is a very spiritually transformative place, and with the sign of Scorpio living there for me personally, this energy is intensified and doubled down on. But I think it's fun. I live here. Like I said, I have a gaggle of other planets that also reside there, so we make fun of it as best as we can. But yeah, it's an intense energy to have, contradicting with this sun and ego, where it's vital to me to have social interaction and engagement. I thrive off of it thoroughly, but I always reach a limit. I always do. It's just very interesting for me to think about because my sun, my vitality, my spiritual intellect, it definitely understands on a very deep core level that relationships are important for me, that to my vital life essence, I need to be in relationship with people. My Mercury is also in the sign of Gemini, residing in the same house. We'll talk about that later, but that enhances my just core understanding of just how important relationships are. I've always been one of those people that were just what's not clicking to you that we all need to be in relationship to make this thing work. To some degree, we're always all in relationship with one another. Why don't you just do the work to have good relationships with people? I don't get it. That always made sense to me on a core level, even though I'm not great at relationships. I'm not saying that by any means. And then we have I have my Scorpio Moon in the 12th house, and it's on a very soul level, my emotional being, my emotional landscape is one that is very isolated, and it sits in solitude. It resides in solitude, and I thoroughly cancel on me. I'm the friend that you can do it. Cancel on me a good 2 times. I give you 2 times before I'm really
hey, do you not want to kick it with me? Just say that.
And now it's Scorpio Moon in a different energy. Now, I love astrology for the reflective sense of it. So when I reflect back on my life and see how these archetypes and themes have played out in my life, I see specifically for school, it's just been a pivotal pattern where I've always like somehow isolated myself from my peers, from my friend groups that I had no problem creating and allowing them to foster to full on like best friend, sisterhood, brotherhood types things. And then deciding to kind of let them go in the Gemini fashion once they met their peak, and then start all over again. And it's also still playing into the Scorpio Moon, because Scorpio is all about death and rebirth and renewal, and being in the 12th house where you're taking yourself, or you've been taken to these isolated places to go these feats alone in foreign places that bring more spiritual and creative opportunities for you to express yourself, right? And emotionally explore these landscapes. That was totally me. I went from like elementary school where I knew all the neighborhood kids and had built all these wonderful friendships. And when we shifted to middle school, instead of going to the next neighborhood middle school, I went to a completely different suburb that was like 30-40 minutes away. It was a bad day when I missed the bus. And I would start all over there and make a whole new gang of friends. It was no big deal for me. This pattern comes up again when it's time to go to college, and I choose colleges that none of my friends are even thinking about going to. And then even as I transition from one college to another, I never go to a college that they're actually attending. And I even pledge a sorority at one of their colleges while still maintaining my own independence on a college campus that I was the only one going to and attending. I love my isolation, my solitude. I do like being the only one, and maybe it's a Minneapolis thing as well. It was just very nice to have what felt like my territory, which is very Scorpio, to kind of just like live my own life and like explore and learn about myself. And I had very pivotal, life-changing moments making those decisions to separate myself from the friends and the community and the relationships that I had created before that and throughout it. It's just fun. It's kind of fun to reflect on how these patterns show up and will continue to possibly show up and give me insight on how I can move that works best for me in a more conscious way. Because again, these things are in the unconscious place in my chart. I move in this way unconsciously. It's just natural to me that this works, and that's great, but it'll be nice to consciously make decisions that are beneficial for me and in ways that like maybe possibly don't hurt other people either. Like I said, the 12th house has a lot of like subconscious energy, patterns, habits, again, that can be very self-undoing, but can also be quite powerful. Saturn rejoices in the 12th house, which means that there's an aspect of having learned hard lessons or going through your trials and tribulations or endured whatever karmic energy is to be expressed through the 12th house through your life. Once you've endured that, you will be so much stronger and powerful, just like so incredibly powerful and well skilled. You would have mastered whatever the lessons are that you're meant to master from that 12th house. And so that's exciting for me because like I said, I have a lot of planets there. I got to make this a good thing some way, somehow. It is intense energy, but with it being in Scorpio, I do have this like very like, well, we're going to do this. Like it is what it is, baby. Like we signed up, we're here, we buckle in and we finish the job. So I am just like riding the wave, y'all. And I'm happy to share this like insight about me. I think that it's, like I said, kind of fun. Definitely let me know if anything, again, kind of struck a chord with you, resonated with you, or like gave you new insight on something or a new perspective. I'm always curious and happy to talk, chat it up, and learn more from y'all as well. Bye.